welcome to Adventuring for Knowledge. This is Adventure Call number 1.
Guess what? This is Adventure Call number 2.
And what comes after 2, Manny?
Is it 3?
Yep, you got it. It's Adventure Call number 3.
Last call. Welcome to our podcast.
It's adventure time. Oh, and we're live. For the first time, we're live. Oh, this feels good, eh? Actually, like talking and
Does it feel good?
feels pretty good.
I think it feels really good.
This is a start of something that's going to be interesting, to
Very
say the
interesting.
least. To say the least.
To say the least. So, Brody, why don't you start by telling us
What's my name?
what's your what's your full name?
Well, hi. My name's Brodi Liam Peters Keefe.
Your name is Liam. The
Yeah,
middle one?
I got Liam in there.
I forgot about
Yeah, I
that.
know. I added it in the bio.
Really?
Yeah, I have it in there.
I should read that.
You should read it. You
I
should.
did read it.
Manny. He's like, yeah, this is my best friend. Your middle name's Liam?
I read it.
You read it once.
I just forgot about it, Liam.
Wait, do you have another middle name besides
No, it's just
Dussault?
Manuel.
Manuel Dussault Gomez?
Yeah,
Oh,
just like that.
that's cool.
Yeah. Anyways, so what?
We're here.
Welcome everyone.
We're here.
to
Yeah.
Adventure for
Yeah,
Knowledge.
we're talking to each other like we're just talking to each other,
Yeah, exactly.
but we're actually talking to people and our
Yeah.
listeners.
Yeah.
Hopefully, someone will listen to us, right? Eventually.
Someone will. Eventually.
Someone will.
Yeah.
My mom,
Yeah, your mom. My
maybe
mom.
Barry. Barry would probably just.
Oh,
fuck,
okay,
like-
exactly. So,
until we interview him, right?
oh yeah, he'll be like, what?
Yeah. Well, we should tell him what we're all about.
Yeah, we will. So, we are here in Victoria, Canada.
Victoria, BC, Canada.
Victoria, BC, Canada.
Yes, we are.
Brody is born and raised
That I am. I've been here for
Canadian.
25 years. An islander. Eh?
An islander.
Just giving her on the island there,
Yeah.
but yeah.
I'm Manuel.
He's an import.
I'm an import. Yeah.
He's Canadian.
I'm half Canadian, half Mexican. Yeah.
You're from Mexico?
Oh, come on. It's
I'm-
not like the
I'm
Liam
from-
thing. You know this one.
Yeah. I do know that.
Okay. So, this is Adventuring for Knowledge. It's a very powerful name.
It is.
Very powerful name. It means a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
And,
And it can be interpreted so many different ways.
yeah.
When we talk about in our bio
Yeah.
and what adventuring for knowledge is, and when we give our definition for venturing for knowledge, traveling is one of the things that comes up, and I think it's
Yeah.
one of the main one, because what does traveling involve? It's a big
Traveling, you experience new cultures, new people, you see different
one
Things
big
out of-
adventure, right?
huge adventures.
Huge
one
adventure.
of the biggest adventures that anyone can take out there.
Right.
So that
Because
is
it's
part.
so unpredictable.
That is
and you-
part of what we are trying to achieve.
Yeah, we are trying to achieve that. We're trying to create an environment where we can bring people in and we can talk to them and try to derive and leverage and suck out as much knowledge from them,
Yeah.
and that we can share with people, listeners, and ourselves in order to make ourselves and our community better, just like better ourselves, better our community, make ourselves more open-minded, make ourselves grounded to earth, make ourselves more mindful of how we feel, discovering ourselves. There's so many different directions that you can go with this subject, and that's why we wanted to do this subject, because it's like knowledge, like there is endless amount of knowledge.
There is so much knowledge to gain out there. And I feel like we both graduated, we're both doing our lives. And now that we are kind of figuring out who we are, what do we do every single day of this life?
How do we spend our free time?
How we spend our free time?
Yeah.
We're like, well, I feel like we don't want to waste our time in this
No.
planet.
No.
So might as well learn from this beautiful planet and the beautiful people that live from it as much as possible
Mm-hmm. And share it with you.
and share with the world.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that is one of the main goals
Through a beautiful podcast.
through a beautiful podcast. And I would like to read this quote of humanness, of like, what does it mean to be a human?
Yeah, let's read it. It's It's written by your wife, right?
It is written by my wife, Hope Torres, and it goes like this. What does it mean to be human? Being a human means 3 things. Living life with curiosity. So just touch on that. Living life with curiosity. I feel like that's the whole purpose of humans, that's why humans are different than all the other species out there, because we're curious.
Because we're aware of the unknown, and we know there is something that we don't know. Like, what is that? Like, we see something, it's like, oh, what is that? I want to know what that is. Or for example, it's like you look at a person dancing on the street by themselves. They're like,
you're wondering
why the heck is that person so happy? I want to have what he has. Like, I want like 2 dosages of that.
Yeah.
Right?
So just think of the whole entire human evolution, and I'll put an example out there.
Let's hear it.
So humans are so curious, and that's what makes us a little bit different than all the other species. And I'm going to use Isaac Newton as an example. He was so curious.
Brilliant mind.
And a brilliant mind, but the most brilliant thing that he had is that he had so much curiosity in him. He wanted to know how things work. He wanted to know how life in this earth generated. Why are we here?
Why?
And
I like
when he was studying, he was very interested in the orbit that the moon had around the earth. Right? He was sitting down underneath an apple tree at his hometown, and then an apple fell in his head. And then he's like, why the fuck did this apple fell directly perpendicular to the crust of the earth? Why did it not fall sideways? Why did it not go upward? So he's like, well, there must be a very drawing force.
There must be one answer.
There must be a drawing force on the center of this planet that's drawing this apple perfectly perpendicular to the crust of the earth.
Well, not really the crust of the earth,
the surface of the earth.
Well, to the dome of his head.
Exactly. So then he's saying this drawing force, it must be matter that's pulling this apple down. So then from there, he realized that the core of the planet and gravity has a drawing power called gravitational force, and the apple came hitting. He said, what if this gravitational force extends beyond the surface of this earth? What if it extends up to the moon? And it does. The gravitational force of the planet, that's what keeps the moon orbiting the planet.
Totally, and affects our tides and can affect people's moods and whatnot.
So his curiosity on this apple falling
onto the top of his dome,
he developed the theory of gravitational force and the 3. It's crazy. Don't you think so?
The 3 what?
The 3 Newton laws.
Which are?
It's every force is equal mass times acceleration.
Right.
And then every reaction has every reaction equal and opposite reaction. Mm-hmm. The third one, I don't know what the third one. I can't remember.
We have to ask the man up above.
The man up above, yeah.
Google.
I should know this. I'm an engineer.
Yeah. I'm not. I'm just a business student. I just know how to talk to people.
Yeah.
Smile and wave.
But anyways, it's curiosity. That's what builds humans. That's why humans know so much. That's why we have experiments that reveal crazy things.
Right. And curiosity is one of the main driving force for this podcast.
Exactly.
Because we're so curious to learn as much as we can to better you and myself, and share it with our partners and our friends and our kids and anybody that wants to hear it, and our community.
Yeah. I'm very curious to learn everything about everything, and I am so happy that you...
Me?
Yeah, that you are doing
No, you.
No, you. And I'm also very happy...
No, you hang up first.
No, you hang up first. And I'm very happy that the audience that we are eventually going to attract is going to share this adventure with us.
Yeah. And hopefully can...
It's so exciting.
Oh, it is exciting. it's really exciting.
Because we don't know what we're gonna learn.
Yeah,
Do you know?
I have no fucking idea. I hope I learn.
We will learn
Oh,
so
definitely.
much.
We will definitely learn.
We hopefully get farmers in here.
We will.
We'll get whale healers.
We've reached out to a few people and had really positive responses and whatnot. And before we bring people in, we want to be able to just introduce ourselves and talk about what we're doing and speak and just kind of get this ball rolling, right?
Get this ball rolling. It's very exciting. This is the first time that we're recording.
This is the first time, except for we had one session where we
did the intro. And
we did the intro. Sick, right?
That song is hilarious.
Yeah,
I love that we picked that.
So bear with us.
Yeah, bear with us.
Adventure with us through our
technical
evolution.
issues.
Yeah, technical issues, and I hope hopefully you guys observe and our adventure and our growth through podcasts and just getting more comfortable with speaking. Like Manny and I are like right now we're like staring each other in the fucking face, speaking to our microphone, and his wife's in the other room doing something on YouTube. Yeah. Right? Like it's not uncomfortable, but it's like it's different, right?
It's very different, yeah.
And we were curious, like I was curious, like how the fuck are this, like how is this gonna go? Like how are we gonna feel? But I feel good, dude.
I feel good, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Feel good.
We just fist bump right there.
Oh, we just did. You probably heard it. So
yeah. So
all right, Manny.
This is a long, like we started here. Oh yeah, sorry. The quote. Holy shit.
Yeah. We're like, hey, I'm gonna read you a quote, and then we got so curious. We got so caught up on curiosity.
Perfect example.
We're just like our humans. We're way too curious. We're like, oh God,
really?
What's that? Squirrel.
Okay, that was the first one. So living life with curiosity. Being a human means three things. The first one is living life with curiosity,
which we just touched on.
Yeah. The second one
is,
which I think it's not a lot of people realize, is accepting ourselves and each other for who we are.
And I think that's one of the hardest ones for humans to be able to achieve.
Yeah. Like how do we accept us? How do we accept each other?
Right. Like I think it all comes from accepting yourself first.
Yeah.
Because once you accept yourself, you create this comfortability or this aura around you, that yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And you go and you're walking down the street or whatever, and you're at a bar, not even a bar, at a restaurant, or you're stopped waiting to go across the road, right? And you're standing beside someone, and some stranger, and you're really comfortable with yourself, and you just turn to them, and they're standing really close, and they can probably feel your presence because here's this random person staring at them, waiting for them to look at you, and they look at you, and you just go, hey.
That's just Brody, by the way, all the time.
How's it going? Like, just like it's as simple as that, because I'm like, yeah, it took a lot of practice and mindfulness, but I think I'm like, well, I know who I am, and I'm way too comfortable with myself.
So you're not afraid of
I'm not afraid of anything.
So if you ask another person, hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
Who knows what they're gonna say?
And some people, you know what? You would be shocked. Like some people are so scared of simple interaction. Yeah. It's like mind-boggling. Like you say hi to a person, like,
yeah. But that's just because of their previous
previous experience.
Yeah.
Right. So let's go back to accepting
ourselves.
So you said how do we accept others? And I think my answer was being able to accept yourself first.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. Because then it's like you can connect it to like a bully, right? Like you go and you look at the classic bully. Like why does someone bully another person? Is to make them feel better, to better themselves, to try to belittle someone, to make them feel above when it really just probably, if you look deep into that bully's life, they probably have really fucking shitty life, right? Like issues with themselves or from a tough environment or whatnot, or they haven't realized that meaning of that question of or aspect of part of being human.
And
But-
you, as a viewer, and you see this bully,
Mm-hmm.
what do you think? Do you think, oh, this bully, I don't like him, you know? Do
Wait,
you accept this bully?
As the bully?
Or think a prisoner?
Or
do you
as-
accept the prisoner? How do we accept prisoners?
Okay, so am I being bullied?
No,
or
you are
am
just
I an
viewing.
outstander?
You're an outstander.
Okay, so you're getting picked on by some dude, and I'm just watching this.
Yeah. How do you accept that bully?
How do I accept
You
that?
know he's doing something wrong.
Yeah, well, then it's basically what I just said. It's like you having the realization that that person is treating that other person
Because of some reasons.
for some reason, and it's most likely a reason that has nothing to do with the person that's bullying them.
Yeah.
It has everything to do with themselves.
Everything to do with himself.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like everyone should realize that we all humans,
Mm-hmm.
we all came from the womb of our mothers.
Totally. The warm of the warm,
That's what
the
makes us-
warm womb of our mothers. Say that 10 times.
The warm womb of our mothers. The warm
Warm womb of our mothers. The warm womb of our mothers. The warm womb of our mothers. The
Okay,
warm
we
womb of our
understand.
mothers.
You got this.
It was only 4 times, but you know. I
But
got
anyways,
this.
everyone came from the same place.
Totally.
That's how we are similar.
Mm-hmm.
So we can eventually accept the other
White,
person. We
black,
come from the same place.
Asian, gay, straight,
Yeah, we all come from the same place. From
Binary,
the womb of our mother.
everybody.
Or C-section, or whatever. Yeah,
Totally.
we all come from the same place. So therefore, we can accept the other person, even though the life experiences that they've had since they were born made it different than yours.
Okay, I'm curious. Sorry to stop here, Manny.
No
you
worries.
think? Okay, so we all come from the same place.
Yeah.
But do you think has anybody been created on like a petri dish? Has any human like
No, I don't
no,
think so.
not yet.
Well,
Like
that's
an artificial womb. We got to touch on this.
We
There's
gotta-
another episode
Well,
about.
if anyone out there knows about this,
Yeah, please reach out to us.
Chris Richard, and that's with any of this conversation. If you think that we are talking some nonsense,
Some nonsense. We want to hear it.
we want to hear it.
And there are ways to reach out. Reach out to us.
Yeah, so you can go to our website. It's adventuringforknowledge.com.
And you go to About Us.
About us.
Then you have a little snippet about who we are,
Yeah.
what we're all about, kind of a short story on our life and
Yeah.
what our accomplishments and
Yeah.
what means what is important to us in our lives. And at the very bottom, there's a couple 3 different social media outlets. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And then they also have our email address
Yeah.
and our phone numbers.
Yeah, there's a
can
contact tab
either-
there that you can
Totally.
text us if
Yeah,
you want.
or call us. That's the best way. Just if you want to reach out to us, the best way is to call us because I'd rather talk to you,
Exactly.
right? Because you're probably gonna get the answer quicker if you just
Yeah.
call us on the phone and ask us a question than writing an email. Because
Yeah.
for me, it's
For
probably
Brody, you can call him. For me, I'm all about emails.
yeah, Manny's all about
I
emails.
wake up at 3 in the morning to do emails.
because this guy's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I sleep.
I need to practice on that.
Manny has a strange mind. Not a strange mind.
We'll talk about it.
A unique mind
We'll talk about it. Just
that's derived from Governor.
give it. But anyways,
Anyways,
what were we talking about?
we were talking about accepting and
Accepting.
and
Oh yeah.
how do we accept how do we accept other people? And then I said, that we need to accept ourselves first.
Yeah, accept. So I'm gonna put another example.
Yeah, let's hear it.
So, and this is in our website as well. If you go to our website, adventuringforknowledge.com, you will find a resources tab. This resources tab is everything that we've learned throughout the years, the books that have helped us, the podcasts that we listen to, and there are some really good resources there that
Amazing
everyone
resources.
should take a look.
Totally.
And everyone should take a look at the synopsis of all the books that we have up there and the podcast, and eventually this list is gonna keep growing.
Oh,
It's gonna be so nice.
Should probably start
I'm
reading
so
a little
excited.
more books.
But podcasts are amazing. Podcast is a huge source of knowledge,
Especially
and
if
I
you don't
love
like
it.
reading.
Exactly. So there's a podcast, Rich Roll. I've just recently started hearing him a lot, and if you go to his website, he has a podcast with Zach Bush, and this dude is incredible. It's crazy.
I listened to this yesterday, actually.
Yeah, and what he talks about at the end of that podcast with Zach Bush is the same subject that we're talking about acceptance. So this guy, he's a doctor, he's a farmer, he's everything pretty much.
This guy's crazy. He
And
does everything.
so what he was talking is that when he was an intern in a hospital, and eventually he moved his way up, and he was saying how people who die, there's only 6 people who have a 6% of the population who die in a hospital. They come back through electroshocks and CPR and all that.
You said 6 people, but is it
No,
6% of
6%.
people? Okay.
Yeah. So out of those 6%, he had 3 people in one shift of 34 hours that came back to life, that he resuscitated in one shift. That's crazy.
It was a 36-hour shift.
Yeah, and he resuscitated 3 people.
Crazy. Just to think,
really small chances, yeah.
You think your 8-hour shift sucked? Try a 36-hour shift.
But anyways, he says that every time, and this happened in like one shift, when he resuscitated a person, they all said the same thing. They said, "Why did you brought me back? Why did you bring me back? Why?" And he got astonished by that answer, the same exact answer from 3 different people. And everyone, after talking to their families and their loved ones, they started saying the typical classic thing that Hollywood movies tell you.
They saw the white light.
They saw the white light. But the interesting thing is that all 3 of them said that once they entered this white light, there was nothing around them. There was no judgment. There was nothing. They felt completely accepted with themselves. They felt like they belonged in that white space with nothing. They felt accepted for their whole lives, what they've been through. They were accepted the way they were, the way they treated people,
who they are.
But who they are. And then he mentions how, wouldn't it be so beautiful that we didn't have to die in order to reach this state of acceptance? What if we can accept ourselves before we die? What if we can enter this white space with no judgment and no worries on life?
Okay, Manny, I have a question for you. So we're going to talk about, eventually, we're going to talk about 3 pillars.
Yeah.
And so where do you think that concept or that feeling of being accepted, where do you think that derives from? What pillar, or does it derive from all 3?
It derives from all 3.
Your mind, your body, and your soul.
Yeah.
Can you touch on that? Like, what do you think?
So
how does each 3 pillar, your mind, body, and soul, connect to that feeling of being 100% accepted for who you are?
I feel like it's a combination of all 3 of them.
Okay.
Like, you got your mind, and we'll touch about this later on.
Totally.
After our intros.
Totally.
But overall, humans, what we believe in, what we connect, is that humans are made out of 3 pillars: your mind, your body, and your soul. And these 3 pillars, they interact with each other. And your soul, for example, just a quick review, your soul is what you want, what your wishes are, what you are made of, your inner little voice.
Your passion.
Your passion, exactly. And then your soul has this energy. Just picture a string from your chest, where we'll say your soul is in your chest.
Or your gut.
Or your gut, yeah. Picture a string coming out.
Because it's like your gut feeling, right?
It's your gut feeling, yeah.
Right?
Coming out of your soul and attached to your mind. Picture a string. It can be a thick string, a little string, a small string, or a big one, looping all over the place. But this string comes from your soul, and it's attached to your forehead with like duct tape.
Doesn't matter how many left, right turns it makes, as long as it connects to your mind.
Yeah, so that
you're good.
You're good. So this soul energy is connected to your mind through that string, right?
Right.
And your mind is what controls everything about you. Your
decision
feelings,
making.
Your decisions. It controls what you want to do with your body. If you want to take care of your body, it controls everything.
Do you think your mind controls your feelings?
I think so, yeah. Your mind controls...
I think your mind controls your feelings, but do you think your feelings comes from your mind? I think your feelings come from your soul.
Yeah, that might be.
But your mind controls your feelings.
Yeah, that is so true. Your feelings come from your soul.
Right.
that your mind controls them.
And that's why meditation is something that I like to practice, and that's able to control your emotions. And meditation is just strengthening your mind.
But anyways, this feeling of acceptance, how do we feel acceptance? Is by realizing those 3 pillars are existent in your life. Realizing that you have a soul. Realizing that your soul has an energy that goes to your mind. Realizing that you have full control of what you can do with your mind. You're realizing that you have full control of accepting that judgment from someone, or full control of accepting pain. You have full control of it.
Totally.
Realizing the fact that you have control of that energy from your soul to your mind is what acceptance is.
Which moves around your body.
Which moves around, it flows around your body.
And makes your mind makes decisions of how you treat your body and what you do with your body. Your body is just kind of...
It's a vessel for your soul.
It's a vessel for your mind and your soul. Yeah. It's important, but your body doesn't really matter. It doesn't like it does. It does matter.
It's the most important thing.
It is the most
healthy
important.
Body
yes,
is healthy.
Yes, it's the most important thing because you only get one. You only get one ride in this crazy life. You get one. However, you don't want to be too caught up in your body.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it can make you insecure, and then it can fuck up your mind, and it can fuck up your soul. Pardon my French, but it can fuck it up if you think too much about
your body.
What shape is your body, or what gender is your body, or what color is your body, or what it doesn't matter. It matters, but then in the end, it doesn't matter.
It matters in a healthy perspective that you have to feed it the right thing. You have to exercise. You have to, if you feel pain, find out why your body has pain. Doesn't matter in the fact that you're dwelling, why do I have this body? That fact is just pure divine power that gave you your shape and genetics from your parents.
In order to attain longevity.
You can literally don't do anything with your body other than doing exercise. And if you're doing too much exercise and you feel great, fucking awesome. If you're not doing exercise
a beast.
And you're feeling great, then good for you.
But it's not going to last long.
It's not going to last long. We'll touch about this in later podcasts, physical activity, because Brodi and I are both very physically active and we love it. And we want to share this connection to your soul that you have through physical fitness.
Because that's how we became really good friends. We'll touch on this when we introduce ourselves and we get through this quote by Manuel's beautiful wife, Hope. But we're just so passionate about this. Like you could even tell, like we haven't this quote. This quote is 2.5 lines, and we have probably spoken for maybe 15 minutes tops now, and we're just finished the first line.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. I feel like this podcast is gonna be good.
This is gonna be good. Except I don't think my bladder is gonna last the whole podcast.
Yeah. Dude, can you imagine when we have guests?
Yeah,
that's gonna be awesome.
This is gonna be we're gonna have to do a bunch of editing because we're one thing that Manny and I share in common is we don't shut the fuck up.
Can talk for
hours with anybody. We could talk for hours with a complete stranger. If that complete stranger wants to talk for hours with us, we're totally down to talk with them. We don't care.
Yeah. Okay, so that was the second one. So the three. Being a human means 3 things: living life with curiosity, accepting ourselves and each other for who we are, and the final one is acknowledging that we live in a more than human world. So I'll say it again: acknowledging that we live in a more than human world.
Okay, Manny, I have a perspective on this.
Let's hear it.
However, I think your perspective is better than mine because...
Well, let's hear yours first. And
Okay. So, acknowledging that we live in a more than a human world.
Yeah.
Okay, so we need to... Okay, so 2018.
Yeah.
Our planet's pretty fucked.
Yeah.
Right? Now, your planet's pretty fucked. Global warming exists. Fuck Trump. right?
We're not involved in politics.
We're not involved in politics except for fuck Trump. Like, we're not gonna get political with anything except like if I was gonna be a president, my presidential campaign would be hashtag fuck. Let me write this down. Trump.
Okay.
Let's get back to acknowledging we live in more than a human world.
Yeah.
Okay, so of course we live in more than a human world. There's trees, there's water, there's bodies, so many different kinds of bodies of water, fresh, salt. And what lives on this planet besides humans? Dude, the list goes on. Like, I can probably name like 1/27th of the
Not
living,
even, dude.
like
Not even.
Not even
Not
of
even.
the living, like
One in a
like
billionth.
1/billionth of the living
What
organisms.
animals do you know? Let's hear it.
Cat, dog, pigeon.
Yeah.
Dude, seals.
Seals are awesome.
I love seals. They don't have hips though. They're just
they're like so smart.
They're really smart, but they're
Blue Planet.
I have seen Blue Planet, sick. But they're like, do you know what know what they look like?
What?
They look like those sausages that you buy at IHOP, but they're water sausages, right? So they're just like swimming, moving water sausages, swimming in a big ocean of maple syrup. That's how I see it. See,
but anyways, there's so many animals.
There's so many, and see, this is why I think
plant species, fungi.
I think Manny can go out more in depth about acknowledging that we live in a more than human world, because this dude is vegan. This dude lives a waste-free lifestyle.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I don't do that. Like, I'm dairy-free, and I don't eat red meat, and I eat chicken maybe like once every 2 weeks, but my diet's like paleo pescatarian. But it doesn't matter, I still eat animals.
Yeah.
However, I can be way more conscientious of what else I consume and what containers and packaging and where it comes from and how it's made. I can be way more aware of that. But this dude and his wife, they set a crazy example that people should follow in order to create or in order to achieve longevity for this planet, because it's dwindling for sure. And so Manny, like, I know, like, I'm joking around with this subject, but this subject is
strong.
It's so strong for you and so strong for your wife.
Yeah. Right?
Because you guys preach so much about this, and it inspires me all the time, and I try to better myself just from, like, I swear I have Hope's voice inside of my head sometimes, like, Brodi. It's like, it's true though. Like, they make me think more about not myself. It makes me think about the planet. It makes me think about other living things, people that makes me think about more than the human world.
Exactly. It makes you think more about the human world.
It makes me acknowledge more than the human world.
Yeah.
And that's why I think
it's a beautiful quote.
Manny's perspective on this is better than mine for that reason.
Yeah. But you're aware of it.
Yeah, I'm totally aware of it.
That's the first step.
Yes, it is the first step.
Being aware of it.
And
being an activist is a whole different thing. Like, it's crazy different.
It's being crazy different because those guys are fucking nuts.
They're awesome.
They are awesome. They're fucking awesome nuts.
They're awesome nuts. But anyways, you are aware of it.
Nutty fucking awesome nuts.
But the fact that you're aware of it, that's the first step. And I'm very happy that you're aware of it.
Thanks, man.
Feels
high five.
High five. Well, you probably did hear that one.
Yeah, you did. You probably heard the pound too, but you know, we're gonna still tell you.
So I am so happy that you're aware of it, and adopting a life. It's a lifestyle. It took years for us to adopt it. So
it's crazy, and to do it right.
But there's a couple of things.
Okay, let's hear it.
It's not only
shoot.
So when we say we live in a more than human world, it means about obviously animals.
Mm-hmm.
It means about trees,
Our planet.
our planet, every single life that this world has so much life.
It's crazy.
So much life. It goes. There's life growing in the most craziest places, like underneath the water, thousands and thousands of meters underwater. There is life.
Right.
There's volcanoes underwater, and in that eruption of volcanic action happening underwater, there's life. There's crabs that live there. They survive.
There's crazy.
There's life in the sky. There's life from the most bottom of the ocean all the way to the top of the sky.
Crazy. There's lives living in my pits after 2 hours of
Yeah,
soccer.
there's worms
everywhere
there,
that
trees
live on you.
there.
It's crazy. It's just fucked to think about.
We're
that.
just a very tiny piece of this earth. This earth is full of life.
Yeah.
There was a quote out there.
We're minuscule, for sure.
I forgot who said it, but there was a study.
Bless you.
Bless you. That was my wife. there was a quote that said, "If we left New York City alone, with no human interaction for 2 weeks."
So, like, I Am Legend. Have you seen that movie with Will Smith?
I have seen it.
Epic.
Life will thrive. Life would absolutely thrive if we left New York for 2 weeks. There will be branches growing from the concrete.
I don't know about
obviously
2 weeks.
Okay, not 2 weeks, but not the trees. But
Maybe
birds will come in.
Totally.
The climate will change around it.
Totally.
More ocean life will come to the city.
And
or
that should
around
be
the
like
city.
5 years.
Crazy, like
Then trees would be poking out of the
this
asphalt.
planet has so much life, and we are just a little part of it. If we get extinct, this planet is still gonna thrive with life.
Totally.
In the most craziest places, volcanoes, and I can only think of volcanoes.
Yeah, volcanoes, and then it's like eruption. Here we go.
But anyways,
But
there's so much life.
I think that, like, what you said, like, the planet's always gonna thrive and have life, and I think that it's important that if we are aware, the people that are aware and have acknowledgement for the planet and for other life forms need to spread the word to the people that don't give a fuck and are about money, that are fucking up our planet, because in the end, this planet's gonna live. Like, it's gonna kill us off before we kill the planet.
Exactly.
Really.
So I have 3 things that I would like to share.
Shoot.
This is what my wife and I hope and I have adopted.
Let's
the
hear
number
it.
1 is veganism. Veganism is one of the most powerful revolutions out there. I'm gonna call it a revolution because it is.
It is a revolution, and I think
truly
it also can
is
be
a revolution.
a fab. And I think that
it's not a fab. It's
no,
a
no,
revolution.
no. It is a revolution, Manny. But I think there's some people that do it for
the wrong reasons. Yes.
Do it for the wrong reason, and that's why I call it a fab. However, I totally agree with the way that you do it and the reasons, the why. I love that word, the why.
The why
of why you guys do it is so much more important.
Yeah.
It's so important. It's so important compared to the people that do it for the gram, right?
But I acknowledge 100%. I want to be very clear in this. I acknowledge 100% that if you live in a remote area of this world, when you do not have resources to vegan food, go for it.
Yeah.
You know, if you survival mode, if you have to hunt to
rabbits.
Survive, to literally survive. If you're stuck in a cave,
have you ever eaten a rabbit?
No, of course not. If you are stuck in a cave, if you're stuck in a cave and you need to kill to survive,
kill a what?
Kill an animal or whatever. Go for it. But I think that we
go
live.
Go for it.
I think we live in a world right now that we have so many resources that we can thrive on a plant-based diet. We can.
100%.
Like up north in fucking way in Alaska.
Let's go White Horse. Let's keep it Canadian, man.
Okay.
In the Yukon.
In the Yukon, where natives have to hunt seals to survive. I'm cool with that. Like, I'm not gonna say you should go vegan.
Yeah, go vegan. Fucking freeze to death.
But let's say an average person here in Victoria, BC, that there's so many farms around you, and you want to thrive.
And stores that sell vegan options.
Yes, and we will touch on this subject later.
And throughout our podcast, because it's very important.
And there are so many resources out there that we've put up. There's How Not to Die. There's Whole. There's documentaries. There's
Which you can find on our resource page at
resources tab,
adventuringforknowledge.com.
Yeah. But anyways, what I connected with it is that I love animals.
Me too.
I love my health, and I love this planet. Those are the three things: animals, health, and planet. And I do it because of those reasons. I don't do it because I want to join a fab or because of whatever reason. I do it because of those three. If you're not a vegan, I'm fine with that.
So you love your health because you want to live long, right?
Yeah, I love this planet because I want to give it to our children.
Because this is when Manny and I started this podcast. One of the main reasons why, one of our biggest whys, Manny's whys, because he's a little further on in life and closer to having children than myself. I'm getting there.
Yeah.
But I'm all for it. Is to show our kids how to live the best kind of life.
The best kind of life, yeah. And
for yourself and for, I'm not trying to tell you how to live your life. We're trying to create a guide for them.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Our children need the resources.
Right, and that's why we're trying to leverage off all this awesome information from different people.
Yeah. And that's one of our main goals. We want to gain as much knowledge as possible from people and from everyone out there.
And share it.
Share. When our children are born, they can look at this information and they are way ahead.
Be like, holy shit, our
it took us
parents
25 years to figure this.
It's like podcast episode number 377.
Yeah, so our children are going to be 12 and they're already going to be exposed to all of this. So it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, because you didn't get exposed to this until your 20s.
Yeah, exactly.
But I didn't get exposed. Like, I knew of it, but I didn't get exposed and got into it and like learning about it and acknowledging it until my 20s.
So this is one of the main things why we did this podcast for our children, so they can learn. But anyways, for those three things, what was it? My health, animals, and the planet. I connect with all of those. Another thing that my wife and I do is we are zero waste.
Crazy.
Zero waste.
That takes so much
We
effort.
try to be zero waste as much as possible.
No one's perfect.
No one's perfect.
It's the effort and thought
we are
that counts,
conscious on the consumption. We don't go to Walmart. I'm sorry, Walmart, but we don't go to Walmart. We go to the farmer's market.
Fuck Trump.
We go to the farmer's market. We don't have plastic bags. We have our own threaded bags that we can buy, and we can put our fresh veggies in these bags without putting. It drives me nuts when people go to the supermarket and they use bags to put apples.
And then they put the bags of apples in another bag.
Like, what? This drives me nuts.
Manny, what do you put your apples in?
We just carry them in our hands and we put them in a bag.
Or you bring a cloth bag.
Or we bring a cloth bag. Like, come on. You don't need plastic.
But it's laziness. People are lazy.
We are gifted because there is a store here that's called Zero Waste, and they're our first guest. Was very excited.
Zero Waste Emporium?
Zero Waste Emporium,
yes.
yes.
Oh my God, I love that
and
place.
we will talk to them, and you will hear everything about Zero Waste. So anyways, Zero Waste.
Amazing people. Love them.
Zero Waste. And the third one is minimalism. Minimalism is, a lot of people call it a fad.
Yeah.
But we have learned the way of minimalism that is not painful for us. If we see something and we truly appreciate it
and want it,
we keep it. If we
and
see something,
reflect on it and reflect on, do we need it?
Yeah.
And
exactly.
And it adds up, then
hope once a month goes through the whole house throwing shit away. I swear.
Goes where?
Through the whole house throwing shit away.
Really?
Yeah, she's like, I don't need this anymore.
Has she ever thrown anything up? Has she thrown any of your shit away?
Yeah. But I don't specifically remember which items.
But it got thrown away.
But I am 100% for it because probably I haven't used it in a while, you know? But we do not accept gifts, you know? We do not accept gifts.
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Washroom break.
Washroom break for Brody. So anyways, welcome back, Brody.
What did I miss?
Nothing. Just that those are the three things: minimalism, zero waste, and veganism. And so that's the third quote. I think we took enough time in that quote.
No, that's the third concept of that quote.
Oh yeah, that's the third concept of the quote.
Was that the finishing? So
Yeah, so
let's read the quote from the very beginning.
okay, yeah. So it's being a human means three things. Living life with curiosity. We've touched on that.
A lot.
Accepting ourselves and each other for who we are.
Important.
And finally, acknowledging that we live in a more than human world.
Very important.
And not only animals, like think of trees, right? Do you ever think of trees when you go on a forest walk?
Yeah, I do think of trees because
Like-
Manny always reminds me. So we were climbing Mount Finlayson. He's like, Brody, like, just be quiet for a second. So, do you know trees? They talk to each other. Like, Manny, like, what did you smoke this morning? Like, give me some of those. He's like, trees speak. They speak through their roots. I was like, really? And then told me about this, some guy, I forget his name, about how trees communicate with each other, and I believe it.
It's crazy.
Manny will tell you about
It's awesome. It's awesome. I'm gonna leave it as suspense. You go to our resources tab and look through the hidden life of trees.
And you can find that resource tab at adventuringforknowledge.com.
Yeah. And it's awesome. This is a very professional person who did a lot of research on this subject, and he's very knowledgeable, and he found some really cool things about trees that you should every time that you go on a forest walk, you're gonna think of this and you're gonna say, wow, there's so much life on this planet, and trees and us, we are more similar than what you think, let me tell you.
And you're gonna be a Manny and tell your friends.
Yeah,
and so
exactly. Anyways,
Manuel's first name is Manuel, but I call him Manny.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody calls him Manny.
And the last thing is that with all of these three factors combined, we can all find peace together and live life to its fullest potential. So if we combine all of these three factors, we can live life to our fullest potential. Acknowledging all of these three factors.
And practicing
all of these three factors. So yeah, it's a beautiful quote. I love it. And we all talked about it.
Speaking of, we're looking at Hope.
Oh, it's snowing outside.
Hope just tiptoe to the window to watch the snowflakes as the sun sets.
Let's talk about more about. So that's the podcast. We talked about one of the reasons why we do the podcast is for our children, and to share the knowledge. There's something like us humans, we're so curious, and we want to share the knowledge with everyone out there. And so this is a mean to do it. And if you like it, find us, talk to us. Let's move on to you, Brody. Can we hear more about your life?
Yeah.
Just
what do you want to know, Manny?
Tell us since you were born here. Everything. Touch on the most intense factors.
Okay, most intense factors of my life. So I was born in Victoria, BC.
Yes.
Yeah, as we touched on that. My life was awesome. I went to an elementary school called Sundance Elementary School.
That's an awesome name.
It's a hippie school.
It's awesome.
It's pretty cool. And at the school there was 100 kids.
Yeah.
And it was an alternative learning elementary school where it was community based.
Yeah.
And it was really all our parents were all involved on teaching. Like they obviously didn't teach us. We had our designated teachers.
Yeah.
But they were more involved than a standard school or a typical school where you drop your kids off out front and they go in and they go to class and then you drive away. So
this is a big community.
Yeah, it's a big community. It's pretty big. It's like 100 people.
But
plus
it has a community vibe.
Yeah. It's a community school.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It was really cool. And so at this school, they taught us so many different things. So they taught us how to plant trees.
Wow.
And so one of our projects when I was like 6 years old, we made a Gary Oak meadow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why Gary Oak is your favorite tree.
That's why Gary Oak is my favorite tree.
Yeah.
Well, because of that, and the school was on a Gary Oak meadow already with these big oak trees scattered all over the school. Yeah. And so we planted, I think like 15 trees in this kind of built off, gated meadow. We should go check it out sometime. I'll show you. It's really cool. And they're like cedar wood fencing and So we were really kind of connected to the earth already from a young age, but I didn't really realize that until not now, but Manny bringing it up now. I'm like reflecting on it, going like, holy shit, like I guess I did learn about this, and this is important, and now I'm realizing like, well, it's really slowing now, eh? Yeah. Now I'm like realizing that shaped me so much to who I am today. Like I went to that school from kindergarten to grade 7. I went to that school for 8 years.
And it shaped you.
And it shaped me because I went to high school for 9, 10, 11, 12 for 4 years. And went to Oak Bay High School, and then I went to a middle school for 1 year. So I went to this elementary school for twice, just under twice the amount of time that I went to any other school.
And I truly believe that early childhood education is the most vital part of your life.
And will shape you for.
And we will have a podcast about this.
Yes, and we'll probably be talking to his wife Hope, who's heavily involved in early childhood education. Anyways. That's her career path of choice. Anyways, it's all about me.
It's all about you, Brody.
And so I went to Sundance, and for 8 years, and it was a community-based school, and that was one aspect of learning, and another aspect of learning was that we were really accepting. Like it was weird. Like there wasn't a grade system.
Oh, that's awesome.
We didn't get A's, B's, C's, or D's. So we were told like our strengths and our weaknesses and what we were good at and what we weren't good at. And instead of just giving us a letter grade, here you go, you're an A student in this or a C student in that. And I'm really thankful for this system, by the way. And so it was really cool because it gave confidence to kids for being who they were. So say a kid wasn't good at reading, you weren't gonna get an F for being crappy at reading. It would just be like,
come on, work on it.
Yeah, exactly. Work on it, and then there would be a support system, a community that would help cater to your needs.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Which is really cool, and it's a debated kind of conversation because some people believe that the letter grade system from a young age is important and that they need to know where they rank A, B, C, D, F, right? I don't think that's important until high school because then
I agree. I 100% agree with that.
Right, because then in high school you need your letter grades to be able to go into university, right, and whatnot, and it also letter grades reflect your effort and attendance. Yeah. Anyways,
so I just want to touch on this.
Okay,
Brody did a strike.
Oh, okay.
When he was in the.
So I was in 4th grade. Okay.
Keep it nice and short, nice and quick, and fucking beautiful.
Okay, well, I'll keep it nice, short, and fucking beautiful. So I was in 4th grade, and I had this teacher. I won't use any names, and we'll call her Mrs. H. And Mrs. H was fed up with the volume of students going to the washroom and maybe the frequency. And it wasn't too bad. Like, it wasn't like I was going to the bathroom 4 or 5 times a class. It was just people were going all the time. Like, and you know what? Like, even when you're young, sometimes you just need to go and have a little
break, yeah.
A little break, right? Like a little reliever and whatnot. And so this teacher told us, nope, we're not allowed to go to the washroom anymore during class. Like, you're not allowed. You have to go only during recess. Well, that was not okay.
That was not acceptable.
That was not acceptable. This did not sit well with me. And so what I did, and my close friend is still today, Mr. Kane Meagum, did. Shout out, Mr. Kane Meagum. Love you, buddy. He's covered in snow in Montreal right now. Crappy. And we created these signs that said, no washroom, no work.
And you're in 4th grade.
And we're in 4th grade. We're in 4th grade. How old are you in 4th grade?
I don't know.
11.
Something like
We're
that.
like these snotty, think we're all smart 11-year-olds. But you know what? Like, reflecting on it, it's like we were fighting for our needs, and maybe some people ruined it for others, maybe going to the bathroom too much. However, we stuck up for everybody else. We stuck up for the community, right?
Yeah.
And well, so we thought. So that's what we thought we were doing. I
No,
think we were
P,
just
no.
yeah. So
No, P, no.
so we were walking up and down the ramp, saying, "No washroom, no work. Students on strike."
Oh,
And so we did this for the remainder of class until the principal got involved.
I love that. So, and it relates to what happens nowadays. People get taken away their rights and they have to go on strike.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
And the fact that you did it in 4 years old, it's awesome.
Grade 4. And do you know what was really funny?
What?
There was a teacher strike like a year after that. Like that went on.
Motivated them, bro.
That went on for like a month. We were striking for like 45 minutes.
Oh, wow.
and the principal got involved.
That is funny.
It's like what
you motivated
when the teachers went on strike, I should have got the superintendent involved, right?
Yeah. Anyways.
Bullshit. Anyways.
So then you went to OPA High School.
I went to actually I went to Monterey Middle School first.
Monterey, yeah.
And this is when I was in grade 8. And this is a very important time to me because in grade 8 on December 16th, 2007, I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. And when I first got diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, I thought I was going to fucking die. Because my only connection with type 1 diabetes was to a guy who I went to school with named Elijah at Sundance, who died of diabetes because it was not caught by a doctor.
Yeah.
And so what happened was his body became very acidic and his organs shut down because he wasn't very strong. He was just a young boy.
How old were you?
He was in grade 1 and I was in kindergarten.
No, but when you got diagnosed.
Oh, when I got diagnosed, I was 12. No, I was 13. I was 13. Yeah, I was just a teenager. And so this is a very important time for development and physical development and self-esteem and mental development. And my first reaction was, well, I kind of knew I had diabetes because I Googled it about all my symptoms about 2 nights before I got diagnosed, right? And I knew I had diabetes and I had to cry. I just cried. And I remember crying to my dad. I was like, I have type 1 diabetes. I know I have diabetes.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, like, it's going to be all right. I'm like, but I knew. And so I went and I got diagnosed. And my first response to that was, I got this.
Nice.
I got this. And maybe it wasn't that initial, but eventually, see, it's heavy. Like I reflect on it because it's
huge, man.
It's huge.
Life
it's huge.
changing.
Yeah, because you still live with that. I'm still diabetic. It doesn't go away. You don't just take a magic pill and it goes away. And I think being diagnosed with diabetes shaped me for who I am today. Shaped me to the person I am today because it created this drive and resilience. And almost like I needed to always prove myself because I had diabetes and I was resilient. That I wasn't just going to be shaken off. And it created this stubbornness within me that...
You went different from everyone?
Yeah, I was a little different because like it also affected my social life because I remember eating lunch out in the hallway. I had to eat lunch out in the hallway because I was giving myself, I had to take shots, right? And there was people in my class that I saw went to high school with them, and went to high school with, and that were afraid of needles. And so to solve that, I had to go eat out in the hallway because people would faint and we're afraid of needles. And this created this barrier, this social barrier between me and my classmates, because I could have just went back and took my shot elsewhere and then went back, but then I just separated myself, and I just right, and just kind of stayed out there. I just stayed out there and ate my lunch. And and so dealing with diabetes was hard as a teenager, because especially going through high school when everybody starts to drink or the diet, like, you're not aware of your body, mind, and soul. You're not aware of that because you're not educated on that yet, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm just getting choked up thinking about it. But here, I'll apply it to my passion. So I play soccer, and from a young age, I wanted to be a professional soccer player. I still do, still working towards it, and very close, but we shall see what happens in the future. And I'll talk about that later. And I said to myself, I'm going to be professional. I'm going to be a type 1 diabetic professional soccer player if it fucking kills me. And I had this mentality, and it was derived from diabetes, because I had this disease, and it was like, no, I don't give a shit. Like, this is not going to stop me. I'm just going to keep going and going and going and going and going. And maybe grade 11, I was able to, after just kind of going through years of having that disease, not even that young, like when I was 21, 22, in college playing soccer, I was able to take that intense drive and persistence and attitude and what's another word for it? Approach towards, and be able to apply it towards everything else in life. So
not just soccer. Nice.
And so I think by being diagnosed with diabetes at the age of 13 and having to face all these kind of hurdles and scenarios that you face when you're 13, and also having diabetes, shaped me to the person I am today, and created this kind of drive and resilience and attitude of nothing can stop me, and I'm going to achieve whatever the fuck I want to achieve. Right?
So where are you now?
Where am I now? Okay, sorry, that's just that subject is, I don't really talk about that a lot with people. Like, my really close friends know that about me, but I haven't really, like, this is the first time actually, like, Manny put me on the spot. Like I knew I was gonna end up talking about it to you guys, but it was that was a lot harder than I thought to just spit out. And I think going forward, when I'm more comfortable, I will come back and I will talk more about my diabetes and apply things about my diabetes to other subjects that we talk about going forward. But where am I now, Manny? Yeah. So after high school, I ended up going to a school called Peninsula College. And I remember grade 12 high school, I was not making the best decisions. I was skipping class, I was smoking weed, I was partying probably too much for any high schooler without diabetes.
Yeah.
Right? Manny knew it because he did it with me. Right? Like, but Manny went to school, and I went to school, but I also, my attendance wasn't the best, and I didn't feel motivated and whatnot because I wasn't getting looks from local schools like UVic or any Canadian schools for soccer, and other people were. Yeah. And that kind of rattled me and affected me bad, and I kicked myself in the butt for responding that way, because if I wouldn't respond if I was in that situation, I would not respond in the way that I responded back then. I was still playing soccer, and I had this teammate named Matias Oliveira. This guy changed my life. Shout out to Matias. And he was a Peruvian guy who was a phenomenal soccer. You remember
Yeah,
Matthias,
he was
right?
awesome.
He was awesome. Like high
Magical
school,
with the ball.
magical. Like he can handle balls like no other man can handle balls, and just magical. Can dance around anybody, and he was a very nice person. And his family were awesome. His younger sister, his younger brother, his mom, and his dad. And he reached out to me, and he was looking for a club team to play for. And at the time I was playing for Saanich Fusion. And I said, yeah, come, you can join our team. It's U21 Saanich Fusion.
Yeah.
And he came out and started playing and whatnot. And this guy was creating videos of himself and trying to go to the United States on a soccer scholarship, right? And I didn't even think about this avenue. I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, I wish I thought of that. Like really, like I hope it works out for you. Like, really, that's cool. Like, good luck.
Yeah.
And so he started just pumping out videos and videos and videos to coaches. He was just marketing himself like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
And he was doing really well. And he was getting lots of responses. And he had this one response from a school called Peninsula College. Peninsula College is in Port Angeles, which is just right across the way from we live.
Right here.
We're in Victoria. If you don't know, we live right on the Canadian-American border. We're about like 20 nautical miles from...
That's more than that.
It's more?
I think so, yeah.
No, it's not. It's like 20
Oh, yeah. It's just, you're talking about Port Angeles. Yeah, that's 20 nautical miles. Yeah, definitely.
That's the United States, right? We live like 20 nautical miles, probably less than from the United States, right? And so they were really close. So they came over. They came over and to watch Matthias play. And this coach asked Matthias at the beginning of the game. He said, Matthias, like we're looking for defenders. And I play defense, and he's like, do you have any good defenders on your team? And this is before the game, and he told me the story afterwards. And he said, yeah. He said, oh, there's this guy, Brodi. He said, you should watch him. And I didn't know this until afterwards, but he came up to me, Matthias came up to me before the game, and he said, Brodi. He said, you see that guy over there? He said, that's a college coach. Play well. I said, no. Okay. Like, okay. Didn't really think of it, but like, okay. And we ended up pumping the team like 12-1. And I remember setting up Matthias for this unreal bicycle kick. I want to find the clip and put it on the website.
Yeah, do it.
I'm gonna find this clip and we're gonna put it on the website.
Do it.
Because it was the most unbelievable goal I've ever seen. And so he receives this ball like 20 yards from the net, chest is in the air, and then does a bicycle kick, and then scores, goes over the goalie, and then scores far corner, and into the net.
And you set him up.
And I set him up. And it's like, I didn't do the long pass. I did the pass before the pass.
Oh, okay, I see. Yeah.
So
it counts.
It was the second assist. I'll take some credit.
I'll take that.
Yeah. And it was Jonas Myers.
Yeah.
Shout out. That did the long pass. And so then after the game, he wanted to the coach. His name's Andrew Chapman, and he wanted to talk with Matthias and myself. So okay. So that night, I went and I had dinner with Matthias's family and the coach. And I didn't really know what to expect. And I went there and I had dinner, and he offered us both a spot on this school.
Awesome.
On this team. And then I was really scared because my grades at the time were absolutely shit. Like this was in the end of January, probably around the exactly same time we're recording this podcast. Was February 3rd?
In 2012.
Yeah, in 2012.
Yeah.
Fuck, we're old.
But anyways.
Yeah, we're not old. It's just a number, Manny.
Yeah.
And so he told me, I said, like, my grades, like I don't think I'm gonna be able to get into the school. It's like, and he said, you don't have to worry about your grades. As long as you graduate high school, you're in. And I went, holy shit, I better get my shit together. Because at the time, I'm pretty sure I was failing English 12 and Math 12. And then, and Planning 11.
Oh, I hated that course.
Planning. It's the stupidest class.
But anyways.
You
did it.
Barely.
But you did it. And you graduated and you went.
Yes, I graduated and I went. No. Actually, I got to give some shout-outs. Because technically, I didn't graduate. Based on my scores, I didn't graduate. I passed English 12, and then what was holding me was Math 12. So I studied my ass off. Shout out to Marna. Marna was this math tutor that helped me. Like, she was amazing. I went from like 20% to like 30% within a matter of months. Like just boom, 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 climbing. And after the final exam, I go and it was Mr. Wilson was my math teacher. And he posted grades. And I'm like, oh, I needed 50% to get into the school. And I go and I'm at like 48.7. I'm like a percent and I'm going, oh my God. And this is like, classes are over.
Yeah.
High school's finished. And here I am looking at the grades going, holy shit, I failed.
Yeah.
And then I went in, like holding in my tears, asking him, like, hey, like, is there anything that I can do? Like, I have this opportunity to go to the school. Like, we're busting my ass. Like, I've been busted. I just been hot. Like, come on. Like, is there anything? And what he said to me, he said, if you sit down right now and you take these 5 tests, they were all the unit tests from throughout the year. He said, if you finish all of these 5 tests and you do well enough on if you pass all of these 5 tests, I will pass you. I'll pass you. You'll get a passing grade in my course. So I wrote all 5 of those tests and I passed.
Nice.
All 5 of those tests. Now
that's another clap.
Yeah, high five. So that was Math 12 down. And I still had to deal with Planning 11 to graduate. And I failed Planning 11. However, I went in and I talked to Mr. Dave Thompson, who was the principal at the time. And I explained my situation of going down to this American school and they played in a league called the NWAC.
Yeah. And
funny enough, his son went through the same process and went down it's in Washington State, Oregon, and California. And he played in the NWAC too for baseball. And he goes, oh, I know the NWAC, and that's really good junior college league, and that's a really good opportunity. And then we were talking to him about Planning 11 because I wasn't going to graduate because of Planning 11 because I basically didn't go. And so long story short, Dave pulled some strings and I passed Planning 11.
So if you are in a similar situation, don't be afraid of putting your shit together.
Yeah.
And talking to your professors, teachers, like if you explain your situation, they are very open to anything.
Totally, and they want to help you.
And they want to help you.
And they want to help you pass, and they want to help you achieve because their students reflect them in the end too.
Exactly.
Right?
But don't be afraid of going and talking to your professors at university or teachers in high school.
Especially when you're failing.
Especially when you're failing, yeah.
And you should still reach out to your teachers when you're succeeding. You should always have some kind of dialogue with your teachers.
Some kind of relationship.
That's what both Manny and I found in order for success is to have some form of dialogue with your higher ups.
Exactly.
Because they want to help you, right?
They do want to help you. So you went.
So I went.
And then you killed it.
And then, I played 1 year and then I got hurt.
Oh yeah, you got hurt.
And then I took 1 full year off, but I still had in my mind, like, I want to play pro soccer.
So what you did after?
So I took 1 year off, worked with my dad as a carpenter's apprentice.
Yeah.
And then I went back because I had an injury.
Yeah.
And I went to a junior college, and I was only going to be healthy halfway through the season. and then I would be battling for time and battling for a spot for the team, right? And then I wouldn't have enough time to truly showcase my abilities, and I wanted to get a decent or good scholarship.
Yeah.
Right? So I made a decision to take the full year off. And I told the school, I'm going to take a year off, and will you take me back? And they said, yeah. I said, okay. So I took the year off. And the first year we won a championship. Buzzing. Awesome. And so I think that was one of the reasons why they took me back. So
yeah,
we were successful, right? And then went back, finished my year there, and then I was able to leverage a scholarship to the University of Science and Arts of Oklahoma. In Oklahoma. It was like 25 minutes out of Chickasha, Oklahoma. And I went there for 2 years, and I graduated with a Bachelor of Science majoring in Business Administration, emphasizing in management and accounting.
That's a hell of a title, bro.
It was a hell of it. I earned it. And and so that was an interesting time. It was definitely out of my comfort zone. Yeah. Being in Oklahoma, because I come from a hippie bum island.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right? Where we're all like free loving hippies. Not all of us, but like, and then I go to the Bible Belt. Yeah. Which was interesting.
But you played good.
Yeah. Played well and won a conference championship there. Qualified for nationals. Didn't win nationals, but anyways. And so, but I still had on my mind, like, I want to keep playing. And I see the people that finish at the school, they just stop. And I'm like, why are you stopping? Like, you're good. Why are you stopping?
It's your passion, right?
Yeah, it's my passion.
Never stop your passion.
And these players were good enough to go and play pro somewhere, but they didn't, for some reason, they didn't want to put in the effort of going out of their, out
of their comfort zone.
Possibly out of their comfort zone to go try and make it. Just because they didn't initially get picked up by a pro team right out of...
So persistence. Persistence is the key.
Is key, my friend. Yeah. Persistence.
And then, so after that, you were like, I'm not satisfied.
Not satisfied. Need more soccer. So I graduated in April 2017. Yeah. And in May 2017, I took off to Thailand. Holy shit.
That was awesome.
It was awesome. And so I went to Thailand to be able to try to achieve a professional contract. Yeah. And I'm still diabetic, so I still have on my mind, like, I'm going to be a professional type 1 diabetic athlete if it fucking kills me. Right? And so I went to Thailand to try, and how I ended up in Thailand was, so at my school in Oklahoma, there was, out of 50 of the players, 47 of them were international from all over the world.
So one of them was from Thailand?
No. My friend, there was a Kenyan friend. Yeah. His name was Daniel Mugambi. Mugambi is a beautiful person. The nicest person you'll ever meet. Yeah. So this guy had a friend who was coming to USAO. And he was supposed to come to USAO, which is my school, University of Science and Arts of Oklahoma. Shout out. And his friend added me on social media. He added a bunch of us on social media. And he reached out to a bunch of us on social media. And apparently some people didn't respond, just kind of brushed him off. But I was like, okay. I responded to him and told him the truth about the school, told him the pros, the cons, and what I liked about it, what I didn't like about it, and whatnot. I was honest with him, right? Yeah. Because it was a nice school, but it wasn't a big, like, NCAA school with a bunch of money.
Good enough.
Yeah, totally.
So you told him,
so I told him that, and then he ended up getting back to me right before I graduated, saying, "Oh, I'm not coming to the school anymore because I'm ineligible. The NAIA deemed me." Yeah. And now, like, I wasn't eligible because I played pro.
Crazy bureaucracy. No.
Yeah, it's fuck America.
Bullshit.
America. Fuck Trump. and stop going. And so he went to Thailand.
And you went with him?
No. Well, he was already living there and trying to play pro. Yeah. And I went, okay. And so I reached out to him and I said, would you help me try to, like, can I tap into your contacts. He said, yeah, you can come, you can live at my place, and you can come and train with me, and you can come into my my network.
Yeah.
I said, okay. And so I didn't know to what extent his network was. So I went there, and his network wasn't as big as he made it seem. And so I was like, okay, and still kind of feeling it out, but he still had a network.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I got in with an agent. It was one of his friends from Cameroon. His name's David Bahia, and he played in the Thai Premier League.
Yeah.
So I met David and trained with David, and then I got introduced to, her name is Narak, but we called her P, because in Thailand, any older person, you just call them P out of respect. It's just,
Yeah.
It would be, her name would be P Narak.
Oh,
But we just called her P.
Yeah.
Right? And so then we got a trial with a team called Pattaya FC. And playing on Pattaya FC was a friend of mine named Dauda Dibba that I played with, and he's from Seattle. And he's Dauda, I forget what African country you came from. I'm sorry. Please reach out to us and tell me what African country you came from. But he moved to the United States when he was 12. And then
So anyways.
yeah. Anyway, so he was playing on the team, which was crazy, because he was like, "What the
Crazy coincidence,
yeah,
right?
like what the fuck?" Because I didn't know. I just saw him.
Yeah.
Crazy. And so we got in with this team, and this team is telling myself like, "Oh, okay, like, yeah, we're gonna sign you, but we just need to wait for your papers." It's like, yeah, everything's fine. But they didn't speak English, so I was just hearing all of this through my.
So the agent say, "Hey, you have a contract, but
No,
they're just
the
waiting."
agent. Well, yeah, kinda.
Yeah,
right.
They're just
But
waiting
she was
on
telling.
bureaucracy and.
Yeah. And it was what they were saying was they're waiting on my ITC, which is my international transfer clearance.
And I remember this. You were so excited. You told me, "Hey, man, I got a contract," and I was
No,
like,
that's
awesome.
No, that was the second. The
the second
time.
one. Oh shit.
Yeah. So this is the first time I went there.
Yeah.
I think I might have told you I just got in with the team, but that's another story. And so I was still there training, and just position myself again. And they told me, okay, like, yeah, you just have to wait, like everything is fine. I said, okay. And then they were saying, but at the same time, they were telling their players that who haven't been paid for 2 months, hey, we're gonna pay you. Well, yeah, we're gonna pay you. Everything's fine. We're gonna pay you. And I'm looking at the players around like no one's happy.
Well, yeah,
And
they're
I'm
not getting paid.
They're not getting paid. And I'm going, oh, this is not good. And then I called the Canadian Federation to see if they even submitted to see like how long, because I was like, why is my ITC, my international transfer clearance, taking so long? So I called them and said, why is this taking so long? Like, they didn't even submit it. There is no submission. And I'm going, what the fuck? And then this is in a week, the transfer clearance window was going to close.
Yeah.
Right? So like, okay.
So what you decided to do?
And then it closed, and then I came home.
Yeah.
Then I came home and I went, okay. And so this was halfway through the season that I was trying to get in, and there's like a month window of signing, a signing window for 1 month. And so, and then I was told I made really good contacts there, met some cool people, and I was told that the better chance of finding a team is to go at the beginning of the season, which is in around December. So, okay, I came back in July. Came back I think like halfway through July. And then that summer, my life changed. I met the love of my life.
Oh.
I met Gabby. I met Miss Gabrielle Fournier. And she was a friend of my friend Kane, who he met in Montreal. He met Gabby in Montreal. And then she ended up moving randomly to Victoria because her mom moved here a year and a half ago. And then she reached out to Kane. Oh, like, hey, I'm here. And then she just started hanging out with us. And then I met her and then...
Fell in love.
Well, I didn't know it at the time.
Didn't know it. Then you went to Thailand.
Because I was just kind of playing it easy because I didn't want to be in love because I knew I was leaving in like 2 months.
For
Again,
the second time.
for the second time in November.
Yeah.
So then I left in November, and I convinced Gabby at the same time to go travel the world. So in October, she left on her trip, the opposite direction. She went across Canada, then she went to Portugal, Greece, Spain, Portugal, Spain, Greece, Singapore, Thailand.
So she met with you in Thailand.
We met in Thailand. And so that's another story, but we'll focus on the soccer. And so I went to Thailand and tried to find a contract. And then, so this time I actually got into a better scenario. I got in with a club by the name of Rayong FC. And I was there for...
And what was the name of the other club?
Pattaya FC.
Oh, Pattaya Rayong.
Pattaya, yeah.
Okay,
so which Pattaya and Rayong are about 45 minutes away from each other.
So you got in with this
team. So I had a trial with this team, and I ended up staying with this team for a month and a half.
Yeah.
And trialing. And when I was there throughout the month and a half I was there, they had other international players coming in and trialing, but they were being sent away.
Yeah, but they were not sending you away.
They weren't sending me away. And then it was getting closer to the end of the signing window, because apparently that's what
it's big.
Well, that's what Thai people do apparently, is they keep you till the very end and then make a decision at the very end, which is kind of bullshit, right?
Yeah.
Pardon our French. And so it got down to the wire, and they said, okay, we're going to sign you. And obviously the language wasn't this clear because they didn't speak English. And so they had this one woman who was the administrative manager. So if you're familiar with football, the manager is usually the coach.
Yeah.
But this was the administrative manager. So the manager, this woman, she spoke English. And so I got a call. One of the Thai players came into my room where I was staying at the training camp, and he said, oh, Brodi, come. And so, okay. And then I came down, and there she was. And she was there at the bottom of the stairs in the office with 4 copies of a contract.
Yeah. And
I went, holy crap. And I didn't really hear anything, so I text my agent saying, is this okay? I was like, are you aware of this? And she said, yep, go ahead, sign it. And so I signed a 1-year deal with this club. However, she didn't sign any copies of the contract because she's not the one that finalizes the contract.
But you signed it. That's when you contact me. You're like, I just signed my contract.
Yes, and so I thought I was a professional soccer player.
Yeah.
So when I achieved my dream of becoming a type 1 diabetic professional soccer player.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit. Like, this was my dream since I was 3, I wanted to be a professional soccer player. Yeah. 13, I wanted to be a professional diabetic soccer player.
Yeah.
And it's like, I have completed my lifelong dream. Here we go. It's just starting.
Yeah.
However, 5 days later, she comes back and tells me that the ownership and the president of the club didn't sign off on my contract. And this was on Christmas Day.
Fuck. What a day.
Yeah, because they're Buddhists. They're all Buddhists, so they don't
give a fuck.
They don't give a fuck, right? Yeah. And so then it was like, I went from the highest point, and it wasn't the lowest point, because it was just like, okay, this
has happened before to you.
Yeah, so this sucks. Like, I've been dealt shitty hands before. Yeah. And so then I just kind of reflected back on being diagnosed with diabetes. Like, I'm still here. I'm still kicking. I'm still giving her. Yeah. Right? And so I just went, it's okay. It's not over. And so I ended up staying in Thailand for a little bit longer after wasn't able to find another team or contract because the window closed.
Yeah. And then 2 weeks after that, here.
And I came back here. And I came back here February 2018 at the end of February. So it's almost been a year now that I've been in Victoria. And so I trained and I played for clubs here and just kind of, so I played the summer just kind of training, and I still had that goal of trying to achieve this dream, but it's an achievable dream. Now it's like, okay, I made it. So now what? Right? So now where do I go? And so through the summer there was talks of this Canadian Pro League. And so now there's this Canadian Pro League. I'm like, holy crap, I'm going to try out for this Canadian Pro League. And then a month before the trials for the Canadian League, I broke my wrist.
Playing soccer.
Playing soccer.
Not doing anything stupid.
Not doing it, yeah. No, not doing anything stupid. So it was all good. So I broke my wrist playing soccer. And, however, this wasn't going to stop me. So I still trialed for the Canadian League with a cast on. So I felt that I did well. But obviously, teams are going to look at you and go, okay, what's going on here? And I haven't received a call back or nothing. I've had no contact. So I most likely won't be in the Canadian League this year.
Yeah.
So, okay. And so I went, okay, now what? And then I ended up going down to LA. And why I'm talking about my life and who I am, this is who I am. Like, I put all of my time and effort into football, into soccer. Like, I worked my ass off. And I have another component of my life that's building, and that's Gabby.
Yeah,
and that's love. And I'm realizing, like, so life's a lot bigger than just soccer. And she's making me realize that. But she also reiterates, because she was there with me when I was in Thailand and I signed my contract.
Yeah, she was there with you when you were signing the contract.
Yeah, she was there. She was there with me, physically with me when I signed the contract.
Because you guys met, yeah.
Yeah, because we met.
And that's when you say, okay, she's awesome.
Yeah, she's awesome because she supports me. Like, that's when I told her I loved her.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I love you. Because she was just there supporting me by my side through the good and through the bad. And my feelings didn't change. And her feelings towards me didn't change. She still reciprocated the same love. And I went, this is a ride or die. Like, this is a keeper. Like, there's so many ways of saying, like, this person is wow. Yeah. Right? And so, and so she kept on telling me, you need to, like, you can't stop. Like, there's people out there that are telling you, like, why are you checking up? Where are you playing soccer? The players that are now, my friend Diego Idonde, who's in the Zimbabwe Premier League. My friend David Bahia's in the Thai Premier League, that still have contacted with me. My friend Caio Rodriguez, who's in the Division 2 Thai League, still in contact with me, checking up on, like, what are you doing? A bunch of Thai players that don't speak English that I met because they understood of how cool it was from people from different languages that don't understand each other, but we understand each other because we
through the sport of soccer.
Through the sport, right? That still interacted with me to their best abilities via social media, because you can express with likes and loves and emojis and what.
So they're like, "What's going on, bro? Are you still playing?"
Yeah, exactly. Like, where are you?
And that's the key. Like, whenever you make friendships, they can support you.
Totally.
And they will kick at you and they say, hey, where you at, what's going on,
and that's what's so cool about 2018, right? That we have the capability of doing that with technology, right? Super cool. And then I have my main support is Gabby and my family, and both of them are kept on reiterating to me, like, you need to keep going, like, don't stop, like, you're young, like, don't stop. Like, okay. And then so I went to a combine down in LA last month in January, and I had a really good response. And now this agency reached out to me and wants to represent me, and they invited me on this tour to Spain and Portugal. However, I had recently had wrist surgery, and so now I won't be able to go to Spain and Portugal because I won't be healed, or I won't be able to prepare the same way that I should, the necessary way to prepare for pro trial. So I reached out to them back and told them my situation, and they further extended their invitation to me to go on a tour to Sweden in August. So this dream's still alive.
Dream's still alive.
Still alive, baby.
So you're going to Sweden to try out, because these people actually saw you play in LA, and they cherry-picked you and say, hey, we believe that you can do it. And
kept on telling me, like, we believe in you. Like, this is why we want to represent you. However, it's their business, and I have to fork up a little bit of dough.
Well, yeah.
However, they're still going to make money off me when I
When you
give
sign
us
up.
when I sign. So they
hopefully, yeah.
right, but hopefully
In Sweden.
No, when I sign.
There we go.
When
That's
I-
another.
High
There
five,
it
baby.
is. Sorry, it's still. So I think that there's a beautiful story of resilience, like you said. You just keep going and going and going.
Yeah,
And what changed? Like, you feel different for this one going to Sweden? Do you feel like different?
do you
your
know what?
mentality, your mind, body,
Do you know?
soul?
Yeah, I changed. So my approach to my why for playing the game changed. My ego shrunk.
Yeah.
My ego shrunk drastically. So I wanted to be a professional soccer player, to have the title of being a professional soccer player.
Yeah.
But then I realized that's not why I play the game. Through all these different interactions with people that from different parts of the world, I play this game because that's when I'm the happiest. I feel so pure and free, and I want to be able to derive that feeling as much as I can for as long as I can. And I'm sure you can relate through your activities, because I know we think the same and we feel the same on our goals and our passion, right? And yeah, so I changed. My mind changed, so I thought differently. And my soul changed because I started thinking less about how I was perceived as a soccer player, and was just thinking about more about, do you know what? Like, we only have one ride. We only have one life.
Yeah.
And we need to be able to just go and challenge ourselves beyond fear. So I want to challenge myself beyond fear. And so, yeah, I failed and failed.
And failed. But you've met
failed.
so many people.
I met so
You've
many
talked
people.
to so many people.
And I
You've
learned
grown
so much about myself through failure. Because
Yeah,
you learn more about yourself through failure than you would when you succeed.
There was a quote that I read from this book.
Yeah.
I bought it yesterday. It was awesome.
What is it?
And it was, you have to, the pain that you get by running away from fear is more than the pain you get from failing and from facing your fear. You learn more from facing your fear than from running away from it.
Totally.
So I'm going to put an example of a rat.
Okay.
And there's a cheese in the trap. And the rat wants the fucking cheese, right? But what's the rat doing is, when approaching the cheese, she sees the trap, or he sees the trap. And if the rat doesn't face the fear, he might get scared, run backward, and another trap fucking catches the rat. You know?
Yeah.
It's a beautiful book. So it was saying that we need to face the fears, our fears, like rats face the traps, and they move around the trap in a very carefully manner and attain that prize, the cheese, by actually facing the fear. Because in the end, by facing the fear, you will achieve something.
Right.
You will learn from your mistakes, and you will get that cheese. It's a
get
bad
that cheese.
example because I'm a vegan, but let's call it a vegan cheese.
We'll call it a carrot.
We'll call it a carrot. So yeah, you have to face your fears other than running away from them, and I think you've done that. And I feel like you've grown a lot. You've changed. You definitely, I can see it. You've changed. Your mind, body, and soul has changed. And for this trial that you went to LA, your mind was in another place. Your mind was in a complete other place. And then I think it was the first time that I've actually had contact with you before the tryouts and texted you saying, you got this, just focus.
Focus only on soccer, because we were talking about the podcast.
Yeah, and I was like, don't worry about it, just focus on the soccer. I think it was the first time that I've actually contacted you before a tryout.
Tryout, yeah. Because normally we just say, all right, good luck, buddy, you go do your
and then
thing.
you go to fucking Thailand. But I think that's a great adventure, and that's if you are passionate on a sport
or anything,
a
if you're
physical
passionate
activity,
about something.
If you're passionate about something, don't give up ever. Just keep thriving, and we'll keep you posted on when do you leave to Sweden?
I'm gonna be going in August, so it'll be 6 months away.
Yeah, so we still got like
We got a lot of time.
80 episodes for there.
Yeah, give or take.
So yeah, this episode is this will be weekly episodes, and it will be coming out on Tuesdays.
on Tuesdays.
Yeah, Tuesdays.
I like it.
Yeah, weekly episodes, so stay tuned.
And these first kind of episodes are feeling out the process of podcasting, and also for you guys to learn about us and bearing with us, because
It's a steep learning. We had nothing.
We had nothing. Like, Manny and I are sitting at the table right now with nothing. Like, we're sitting at a blank table.
Yeah.
And so just now, the one thing that I hate doing the most is talking about myself. So right now, that was it. I probably sound so much different right now talking about not myself and talking about something else than I just did 5 minutes ago when I was talking about myself, when I felt so uncomfortable uncomfortable. It's so uncomfortable talking about myself.
But I feel like in order for the audience to really learn our purpose, really learn why we're doing the podcast, it is essential for them to know you.
You need to know our background.
And I think that the next episode, you're going to interview me and I'm going to open up, because I think that this is already an hour and a half.
Well, this is an hour and a half, but we can just, like snip, click, click, and...
Snip, and clip. Yeah.
And put it in. But yeah, let's just go. Each episode is episode number 1. Brody.
Yeah. And the life of, we explain what to do.
Yes.
Like, this is what...
We talked about why. We talked about our why.
We talked about a beautiful quote that took us 30 minutes to do.
Yeah, our beautiful quote by a beautiful person. And we talked about our why. I'm sorry, I'm going back to the why, because we're going to talk
more
on
about
an episode. We're going to talk about our whys and people's whys, and why whys are important.
Yeah, exactly.
And how they can,
like you said,
hurt you and make you super duper strong. And there's a lot. We're gonna go in depth. This is gonna be awesome. We're gonna talk about whys.
It's gonna be awesome. I think we should finish this off by introducing the mind, body, and soul.
Okay.
So I know we touched on it previously, but I want to just round this episode up and talk about
and transition into
mind, body, and soul.
And transition into what we're gonna be talking about next
week. Exactly.
Which we'll be talking about Mr. Manuel Dusal Gomez sitting across from him.
So stay tuned.
And we're gonna hear about his crazy journey and his crazy achievements. Well done, sir. I'm shaking his hand. He knows what I'm talking about. And transition into the three pillars.
The 3 pillars.
And our whys.
And our whys, yeah. So just to give a heads up, the 3 pillars is your mind, body, and soul. And there's a blog out there. I'm going to post a blog really soon about briefly describing the mind, body, and soul.
So, Manny, are you posting the blog on our resources?
On our websites. Yeah.
Is that
there's an actual tab.
Blog. Wow, he's on it.
Yeah.
There's a blog
There's a tab. There's a blog tab.
Where can we find that again?
There's a podcast tab.
Adventuringforknowledge.com, right?
Adventuringforknowledge.com, ladies and gentlemen.
Ding.
So, this starting a podcast was great. It was an awesome adventure. We had to go through what we wanted to do. We had to schedule episodes. We already have our first guest. We already have a couple of guests talking about our why, presenting ourselves, getting a microphone.
We have some awesome guests coming in.
Yeah, awesome guests.
Our first guest, so excited. From Zero Waste Emporium.
Zero Waste Emporium.
And then I think our second guest, I think Keefe should be our second guest.
Yeah, we can put Keefe in there. It's a local person.
Keefe is someone who we went to
amazing story.
Someone who we went to high school with, and we relate a lot to him because we see a lot of our drive. Yes, we see a lot of ourselves in him.
Yeah.
And he's an awesome guy. He's a business person who's did a startup company called Ghost It. You might have heard of it.
Yeah.
And he's a really awesome dude. We're really excited to speak with him because he's gonna be awesome.
Yeah. And the Zero Waste Emporium, they opened their own business too. It's here locally in Victoria. You can order online as well. And it's awesome. So
totally
I'm so
awesome.
excited. I'm so excited to talk to them. So excited to talk to Keefe. So excited to present the mind, body, and soul subject. So the blog will be out there. So if you want a preview of what we're going to talk on next episode, read the blog.
Come check us out.
Yeah.
Adventuringforknowledge.com.
Adventuringforknowledge.com. And I just want to say that the reason why this is a Brody and I doing this podcast and not just one of us.
Right.
It's because I feel like you and I connect in another level.
On all 3 of those pillars.
and we'll talk about it.
High
That's
five.
the fourth high five. If someone's counting.
Yeah, okay. And second pound,
And
boom.
second pound. So, yeah, if you're thinking about relationships out there, the next episode is really going to crank down on how to develop them and how to know that the relationship that you're with is
Right.
it's right.
Healthy.
Healthy, yeah. So,
Right.
Brody and I
True.
connect in all those three, mind, body, and soul. And our drive is kind of similar. We think kind of the same.
Well,
we both value.
Well, I have a story written up actually about how we met.
Yeah, we're going to talk about how we met. That's a
We're gonna
crazy
talk about-
story.
That's an awesome story.
That's a beautiful story.
Because we're gonna I introduce myself somewhat.
Yeah.
Pretty much like what I've been doing,
Yeah.
and I haven't touched on my career outside of soccer.
What do you do
Well,
to get
right,
money?
Right
Yeah.
now, how do I keep myself afloat? So
Yeah.
I work for my dad's building company.
Yeah.
Right now as a carpenter's apprentice.
Yeah.
However, it broke my wrist, right? So
Yeah.
I stopped working for him. And so then I was like, holy crap. So my dad suggested I go and I check out real estate appraising companies.
Praising companies, yeah.
Right. So they determine the value of properties
Yeah.
with improvements on with houses and
Yeah.
whatever, right? And so I went to a commercial real estate company called Fung Horwood and literally walked off the street. I had,
Just walked up the street.
that's another story.
That's another story. We'll talk about
We'll talk
that
about
tomorrow.
that we'll talk about it
next
because
podcast.
it exemplifies
It's
something.
meant to be.
Yeah, no, what I think it exemplifies if you want something, you need to go get it. And so it's connected to who I am with the soccer and connect to the diabetes and all of that about who I am and this intense kind of goal-oriented person I am. So this was a job that I just walked off the street
Yeah.
with little to no contact with them, introduced myself, had an hour-long interview with them, got invited back for another hour-long interview, and boom, hired.
Nice.
So I work for
There you
a
go.
commercial real estate appraising company as well as a building management company as a laborer and carpenter apprentice, and I do some cash work as a soccer coach.
There
Actually,
you
got
go.
that later tonight
There you go,
at
yeah.
7:30.
7:30. You got a coaching session. Yeah. There
Yeah.
You go. Perfect. So
That-
that's Mr. Brody right there, ladies and gentlemen. Yay!
Yay.
And that's our podcast right there. Yay!
Yay! Woo!
And next episode is gonna be better. And I feel like we don't have the best like
Yeah,
You can
sorry,
hear the
you can
fucking
hear me
table.
because I'm a little.
you can hear
fidgety.
the bathroom,
Like,
you can hear everything.
You
But
can hear. I could probably do the podcast from sitting on the toilet,
yeah,
and I can make a beat while I'm at it.
yeah, there you go. Oh yeah, baby. So welcome to Adventure for Knowledge. Yeah, and another one. So yeah, so we're eventually gonna keep getting better and better and better and better, and bear with us. There's some amazing guests, some amazing talks, and what I wanted to say something.
Well, we were talking
I
about.
love you. I love
I
everyone.
love you, buddy. High five.
Yeah, that's the sixth one.
And who's counting?
And I love my wife.
I love you too, Hope.
And you love Miss Gabby, right?
I love Gabby.
Shout out to
Shout out
Gabby.
to Gabby.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're still trying to figure out our logo and all that, but it's all gonna come through.
it's coming really soon. I think
Yeah.
we're pretty close on that
Yeah.
one.
So resources about diabetes. Do you have anything
Any
that
resources?
we can link down here?
Do you know what?
Yeah.
I think the links that you have, like How Not to Die and vegan and all these plant-based are diets that diabetics type 1 and type 2
Yeah.
should incorporate into their life.
Yeah.
Because
Totally.
especially if you're type 2 diabetic, you can get rid of that shit so easy if
So
you go.
read How Not to Die. It's
Read
an
the-
awesome book.
Yeah, and learn about alkalinity and acidity.
Yeah.
And
It's
how
all in
it
there.
affects your body and what foods are acidic and what foods are alkaline and how they can help you achieve health.
Yeah.
Just overall health and how foods can deteriorate.
The best
your body.
thing is to keep active, keep
Yes.
ambitious,
move it or lose it.
move it or lose it. We fucking met this guy. We were hiking Mount Finn the other day.
Mount Finn.
The
Mount Finlayson.
the last
Right.
day of the year.
Right.
And of
December
2018.
31st.
And we were hiking Mount Finn. This mountain is crazy hard. Well,
Takes
not
about-
really. Not
it's
really.
like a 45-minute
Yeah.
hike, but it's strenuous.
And we met in the way this 93-year-old.
83.
83. I'm piping it up.
Yeah.
83-year-old.
Going up his second time of the day.
Second time to Mount Finlayson, and we're like, what's
And we
your-
were, and we weren't. Hope was complaining about how tough it was. And then we just learned, we got humbled real quick by this guy who was like, yeah, it's my second time up today.
Like, how do you keep it? He's like, you just gotta keep doing shit.
Yeah. Just move it or lose it, man.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. I appreciate it. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your patience.
Yes.
We're not the
Patience.
best, but
No.
we're gonna be the best, right?
Oh, yes. We're on a pursuit of excellence, my friends.
The pursuit of divine perfection.
Ooh, divine perfection.
There you go. Okay. There are more episodes that will ground you to earth, ground you to your soul, mind, body, and
And
your physical body.
and shape our speaking abilities.
Exactly. Yeah.
Totally.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you, bro. That
Number
was
7.
awesome episode.
That was like 6.5.
6 and 5.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. And please remember to be active in your community. Brody, come on. Keep going. Keep going.
Remember to smile.
Remember to be kind and respect yourself, others, animals, and a beautiful planet.
And please, never stop adventuring for knowledge.
Until next time.
Peace.